Page 117, 19, The Secret of the Method. The Inner Journey Before the Outer Change, episode 117, 19. Welcome to this reflection. Today, we are going to explore a profound idea. How transformation begins inside the human being long before it appears in the outside world. Life constantly changes our circumstances. And sometimes we wonder why our situation shifts, why certain doors close while others open. But there is wisdom behind every change. God, in His mercy, does not waste the effort of those who strive to do good. So when you face a difficult phase, remember that it may be a preparation rather than a punishment. Every believer goes through stages. Stages of learning. Stages of patience. Stages of doubt and clarity. And eventually, a stage of responsibility. When the time of your mission arrives, you must be ready. Not only with knowledge, but with maturity of the heart. Because the one who calls others toward goodness must first build goodness inside himself. God knows you better than you know yourself. He knows your potential, your limits, and your hidden strengths. Sometimes we think we are weak. Sometimes we think we cannot change anything in the world. But many people who later transformed societies once believed they were insignificant. They started as ordinary individuals. They were misunderstood, sometimes accused, sometimes mocked. People may say you are unrealistic or strain. They may even question your sanity because they measure life according to their own limited framework. Their understanding is confined inside what we could call a matrix of beliefs and expectations. Inside that matrix, they believe everyone must stay within the same boundaries. If someone tries to break those boundaries, they see it as a threat. But transformation always begins with someone who refuses to accept limitations. Not arrogance, but conviction. The conviction that change is possible with faith, perseverance, and sincere intention. When a person continues patiently despite rejection, something remarkable happens. His character deepens. His understanding expands. His patience becomes strength. And slowly, the best version of himself begins to emerge. This is why patience is not passive. Patience is a process of internal development. It is the discipline of staying committed to the right path even when results are invisible. Many people today are obsessed with speed. They want instant success, instant recognition, instant results. But rapid solutions often resemble cosmetic makeup. They hide imperfections for a moment, but never solve the real problem. True change is different. It is gradual. It grows like a tree. First roots, then a trunk, then branches, and only later fruits. Those who rush often choose shortcuts. But shortcuts can lead to collapse. A person who climbs too fast, without building stability, will fall with the same speed. That is why wisdom requires patience. The path of truth is not built on hurry. It is built on certainty. When a person develops certainty, something powerful happens. His vision becomes clearer. His heart becomes calmer. And his decisions become stronger. At that moment, he realizes something essential. The speed of success is not determined by human desire. It is determined by sincerity, discipline, and alignment with divine guidance. Your effort, your sincerity, your fear of doing wrong. These are the forces that bring blessings into your work. Not manipulation, not shortcuts, but integrity. This is why sincere effort eventually produces results beyond human calculation. Provision can come without account, meaning beyond human expectations, beyond human systems, beyond the calculations of those who doubted you. And this leads us to another important dimension of personal development: understanding personality. Every human being has internal and external aspects. There is the personality we show to the world, and the personality that lives inside our mind and heart. In addition, psychology teaches us that people process reality through different representational systems. Some people are primarily visual. They think in images and pictures. Others are auditory. They process the world through sounds and words. And others are kinesthetic. They experience reality through feelings and sensations. Each person has a dominant style, but successful individuals develop flexibility. They learn to move between these systems. Why is this important? Because communication depends on understanding others. If you only see the world through your own lens, you will misunderstand people constantly. But if you develop flexibility, you can adapt. You can understand different perspectives. And you can build stronger connections. However, before understanding others, there is something more fundamental. You must understand yourself. Self-knowledge is the foundation of real growth. Without self-knowledge, there is no real beginning. Many people try to build success without knowing who they truly are. That is like trying to place a train on the tracks without aligning the wheels. It will never move forward correctly. True development requires alignment. Alignment between the outer self and the inner self. Between what you show and what you truly believe. When the inner and outer dimensions become balanced, something beautiful happens. Inner conflict decreases. Clarity increases. And the individual becomes more stable. This balance also requires accepting your past. Not denying it. Not being trapped by it. But learning from it. Do not be excessively attached to what you lost. Do not become arrogant about what you gained. And do not become anxious about a future you cannot control. Instead, focus on balance. Balance between your internal intentions and your external actions. Life will always contain trials. You cannot escape them. The world itself is a test. But the goal is not to escape tests. The goal is to avoid falling into their traps. That is why wisdom requires moderation. Extremes create instability. Moderation creates resilience. A balanced person can interact with society without losing his principles. He can influence the world without being controlled by it. Unfortunately, many problems in life arise from wrong diagnosis. If you misunderstand your problem, if you listen to the wrong advisor, or if you try to solve the problem in the wrong environment, then the result will be confusion. This confusion can lead to hypocrisy, to deception, to hidden problems that grow silently until they eventually explode. Many people also inherit beliefs and habits without examining them. They simply follow the crowd. But unexamined traditions can contain errors. And if the roots of a system are corrupt, building more layers on top will only increase the damage. Eventually, everything collapses. That is why honest reflection is essential. Sometimes we must dismantle old beliefs, not to destroy ourselves, but to rebuild stronger foundations. Because a structure built on truth can survive storms. But a structure built on illusion will eventually fall. Real growth, therefore, requires courage. The courage to question. The courage to learn. And the courage to change. But above all, it requires sincerity. Because sincerity aligns the heart with truth. And when the heart aligns with truth, life begins to move in the right direction. Change may be slow, but it becomes inevitable. And that is the path of real transformation. Not sudden miracles, but steady evolution. One step, one lesson, one improvement at a time. And eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes reality.